Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do the May 11th just for today in a meditation. Let's go ahead and get into that screen. The title of the meditation for today is Balancing the Scales. A lot of our chief concerns and major difficulties come from our inexperience with living without drugs. Often when we ask an old timer what to do, we are amazed at the simplicity of the answer. Now that comes from the basic text, page 43. Finding balance in recovery is quite a bit like sitting with a set of scales and a pile of sand. The goal is to have an equal amount of sand on each side of the scales, achieving a balance of weight. We do the same thing in recovery. We sit down with the foundation of our clean time in the 12 steps, then attempt to add employment, household responsibilities, friends, sponsees, relationships, meetings, and service in equal weights so that the scales balance. Our first try may throw our personal scales out of kilter. You may find that because of our over-involvement in service, we have upset our employer or our family. But when we try to correct this problem by resigning from NA service altogether, the other side of the scales go out of balance. We can ask for help from members who have stabilized their scales. These people are easy to recognize. They appear serene, composed, and self-assured. They'll smile in recognition at our dilemma and share how they slowed down. Added only a few grains of sand at a time to either side of the scales and were rewarded with balance in recovery. Just for today, I seek balance in my life. Today, I will ask others to share their experience in finding that balance. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. We're talking about balancing the scales and how it is our lived experience of being out of balance, right? Imbalance creates unmanageability. The chief area that we all have experienced imbalance in is with the disease of addiction. And I want to make sure I say that, the disease of addiction, not simply using drugs. If I could use drugs and be balanced, I probably would not have the disease of addiction. See, the disease of addiction is a spiritual situation, it's a physical situation, it's mental. It shows itself with symptoms such as acting out, using drugs. These are symptoms of the disease of addiction. If I could be balanced with using drugs, that would be an indicator that, either I'm a social addict or I'm not an addict. Right? But that's not the case. The imbalance was internal. What I'm talking about, what they're talking about, is an imbalance that was internal and that can be set off at any point in time just by trying to do too much in a positive way, right? Be too much in a positive way. It's very common for us to go in head first into every situation, especially after we get clean. Especially after we get clean. There's a tendency for us to say, I gotta make up for this, right? I gotta do something different. I gotta be a productive member of society. And before you know it, we've added so much service work. We're sponsoring. I can't tell you how many people I was sponsoring at one time. Oh, yes, I can. It wasn't like I was sponsoring hundreds of people, right? But I was meeting on a monthly basis with easily with my sponsees, their sponsees, their sponsees, and their sponsees. And I think on one or two occasions, my sponsor would be bothered, right? Tens and tens and tens of people. It's 30, 40 people a month just sitting there, uncomfortable. And I could not stand to watch the discomfort on people's faces, rather, their imbalance, the inability for some of the women to get along with each other, but because they have a commonality of sponsorship, they come together in this small space to be together and talk about a certain step. It was just so uncomfortable having all these questions directed. And I thought to myself, this is imbalance. This is a good thing gone sideways, right? Because everyone is looking to me for their answer. Everyone is scheduling in a short weekend that I'm in town. Everyone is scheduling time with me instead of time with their sponsor. And it was beautiful. The honor was amazing. The respect that they gave me was amazing. But I felt the imbalance. And it was just a good thing gone sideways. And so today, what we're talking about is that we take a little bit of this and put it on this side of the scale. And then we put a little bit on this side of the scale. And we just keep doing that. This side and then that side. This side and then that side. A little bit of this goodness, a little bit of that goodness. We make sure we show up at our job on time and give them true service. What's true service? However long they hired you for, give them your time and energy. Right? That's not a time to be on the phone, scrolling through Facebook. Give them your energy. When it's your break time, then you stop working for them and you take a true break for however long they have authorized for you to take a break. That's balance on the job side. That's integrity on the job side. That is service, right? In a society that you've agreed to work for, right? And then when it comes to service work, what did you agree to do? Keep that agreement. I have an agreement to do something every Monday night, and it's generally, it was always assumed that it would be a meeting that was held on Zoom, right? And we began to add the in-person piece, right? And so it became a hybrid meeting, right? And so now every Monday, I'm pretty much 95% of the time, make sure I'm a part of that process on my Monday night. Put up the readings, make sure the Zoom piece goes without a hitch, right? That's what I give back, not to mention the other stuff that I do, right? And then probably about 3 times a year, maybe two, it depends on how the year is going. But I try to make sure that I give segments of 90 days to the international meeting of hosting at the most awkward hours because those are the hardest ones to fill. And I typically am awake, right? And so I do service work. And when I'm done with that 90-day period, I take 90 days off in most instances. maybe not even 90 days off. I might just take a month and go back to it. Right? I take whatever I need. This year, I won't be going back to it until 2025, right? Because I start my doctorate on Monday. And so I want to make sure that I'm balanced with my educational piece, right? This tornado that took place set some things off inside of me emotionally that I have decided that all of those clients that I see after that 4 o'clock slot, right? My boys get home around 4:30 at the latest. All of those clients that I see that I would see them, 5 o'clock and then a 6 o'clock, and occasionally I might take a 6:30, right? Those clients are going to need to find a new slot, right? They're going to have to find something that I can see them during the day because I'm no longer willing to go through what I just went through with this tornado. And even though my boys are big boys and they can be left home a few hours by themselves, right? And they're very well educated about what to do in an emergency. I never want to be that far away from them in a catastrophe. I didn't even get home to them that day. They had to go be with neighbors that had to leave the community and go somewhere else. And I trusted them explicitly. Like there's nothing that I was worried about. But the thought of me not being able to comfort them during such a tragic event, right, was very difficult to endure. When I did finally see them, I saw the trauma on their face. And I said, yeah, they need to stick by my side and be by my side. And I need to be able to love up on them and reassure them, right, that everything's going to be okay. But I also made some other decisions, right? The balance in that. And only I am really in a position to determine what feels out of balance for me. And I'm challenging you to take this time today before you get ready to go into the new week to figure out what side of your scales of life are out of balance and start rearranging things so that when you show up for life, you're not one of those people that have an embedded frown in the middle, that horizontal, right? Or it could be vertical, but that frown line between your brows. There's nothing worse than having to interact with someone that has a permanent frown between their brows. The look on their face is one of disdain and disgust and aggravation and irritation all the time. And when I encounter people like that, I immediately think to myself, what is even going on? Because all of this energy and all of this shade and all of this aggravation is an indication that you're out of balance, because you shouldn't have to go through life being that mean and angry and intolerant all the time. It's not necessary. It shortens your life. Believe me, I know it shortens your life. So I want you thinking about bringing some balance, to your life. What does that look like for you? Are you emotionally on the edge all the time? Are you a give and take person? Like 1 minute you're all in, 1 minute you're all in and you're in touch with your, sponsor all the time. And then the next minute it could be a year, right? Before you engage. that's out of balance. Yeah, because we have choices and we choose what we want to invest our time and energy into. And it shows. It shows. So I have my goals and I know what they are. What are your goals? How are you going to seek balance in your life? And are you willing to ask for help? Ask other people to share with you what they do. I am. I want to know what you do. Leave me a comment down below. What part of your scale system is out of balance, and what are you going to do to even it up and make life more enjoyable for yourself? My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.